Child of God, you are not here by accident. You are not hearing this message by coincidence. This moment is sacred. Heaven has aligned your steps to arrive right on time, because what you are about to hear is a divine revelation, something heaven has been waiting to whisper to your spirit. Angels say your soulmate couldn't sleep last night, and whether you see it or not, something is shifting in the unseen. Something is moving around your life. Something is awakening in the spirit realm. There are moments when the heart speaks louder than words, and last night their heart was speaking your name, not from longing, not from fantasy, but from spiritual recognition, from awakening, from alignment. You didn't stumble here. Your soul was guided. Your spirit was pulled. Something in you has been stirring. Your chest has felt heavier. Your intuition has been louder. Your dreams more vivid. Your emotions more sensitive. Your spirit keeps whispering that something is close. Closer than it has ever been. Listen, this teaching is not entertainment, it is not emotional hype, it is not surface-level encouragement. This is revelation, this is preparation, this is alignment for a divine connection God has been shaping in silence. There is someone connected to your future, someone whose soul recognizes you even before their mind fully understands it, someone who feels your absence even without having met you in the way destiny intends, someone who carries space in their heart that was created for you. Last night they felt it, they wrestled with it, they turned, they tossed, they felt the stirring in their spirit, not because they were stressed, not because they were overwhelmed, but because heaven awakened something inside them, a longing, a clarity, a divine pull, a pull toward you, a pull toward the one they've been praying for without even having the words. Sometimes God wakes up a heart before he wakes up a mind. Sometimes your spirit knows long before your understanding catches up. Sometimes the connection forms long before the encounter takes place. When that happens, it creates restlessness, a spiritual push that cannot be ignored, a nudge that keeps them awake, because the spirit realm is aligning something powerful. They aren't just thinking about romance, they are thinking about purpose, healing, real commitment, a connection that carries destiny, not drama, truth, not performance, depth, not temporary comfort. You need to hear me clearly. This message will stretch you, it will shape you, it will lift you, it will open parts of you that you tried to close, and by the time we reach the end you will understand why your soulmate's spirit reached for yours last night. If you are new here, if you've been watching quietly, if this channel has helped you heal, helped you grow, helped you understand your worth, helped you see love through a deeper spiritual lens, then I invite you, subscribe to Daily Motivation Prayers, join this family, turn on notifications so you never miss when heaven speaks through these teachings. And if this message blesses you, consider supporting with a super thanks. When you pour into this work, you help it reach more hearts that need clarity, healing, and truth. You are not behind, you are not forgotten, you are not overlooked, you are in a divine process, a God-led alignment, and today's message will help you discern what is unfolding behind the scenes in your love story. You will receive 7 deep revelations, 7 spiritual alignments, 7 truths that will prepare you emotionally, mentally, and spiritually for the connection God is forming around your life. Stay with me, don't rush, don't skip, let your spirit receive this in real time, because your soulmate couldn't sleep last night. They were sensing you, awakening to you, reaching for you in the spirit, and heaven is preparing both of you for what comes next. Let's begin. Number 1. Their spirit is awakening to the connection God placed between you. And when a soul awakens before the mind understands, it creates a deep spiritual restlessness. It is not anxiety. It is not confusion. It is not loneliness. It is spiritual activation. A pulling from within. A recognition that something in their life is shifting. Something is aligning. Something is calling them higher. Last night your soulmate felt that shift. They felt something pressing on their heart. Something stirring in their spirit. Something asking them to pay attention. Something telling them that life cannot continue the same way it has. Because when God prepares a person for a divine connection, the first thing he does is disrupt their comfort. Your soulmate is beginning to feel that disruption. They are noticing a dissatisfaction with shallow relationships. They are losing interest in temporary connections. They are feeling the emptiness of people who were never meant to stay. And something inside them is saying, there is more. There is deeper. There is real love waiting on the other side of obedience, courage, and inner healing. They couldn't sleep because their spirit was shifting into alignment. And alignment often feels like discomfort before it feels like clarity. One of the ways God wakes up a soulmate is through spiritual agitation. A stirring that makes them reflect. A stirring that makes them confront their truth. A stirring that makes them evaluate the direction of their life. A stirring that makes them desire connection that carries purpose, not just passion. They are beginning to feel the weight of your absence. Not a painful weight, but the weight of expectancy. The weight of knowing something meaningful is approaching. The weight of sensing that love is not far anymore. They may not know your name. They may not know your face. They may not know the timing. But they feel you. They feel the pull. They feel the spiritual thread between you tightening. They feel a longing that doesn't feel like fantasy. It feels like destiny. And here is the truth. Your soulmate couldn't sleep because they are being prepared. Prepared to love at a deeper level. Prepared to commit with intention. Prepared to communicate with clarity. Prepared to show up with consistency. Prepared to honor you emotionally, spiritually, and relationally. God does not send someone into your life who is not prepared to handle the weight of who you are. You carry depth. You carry sensitivity. You carry wisdom. You carry the kind of heart that cannot be mishandled or taken lightly. So God has been working on them, healing them, stretching them, convicting them, elevating them. And last night may have been one of the moments where the preparation became undeniable. Their mind is beginning to catch up to what their spirit already knows. They cannot stay the same. They cannot keep repeating old cycles. They cannot continue numbing their emotions. They cannot keep avoiding healing. They cannot keep living small. Because the connection God is preparing for them requires emotional maturity and spiritual responsibility. Some of you watching this have been praying, Lord, prepare my partner. Prepare their heart. Prepare their mind. Prepare their spirit. Make them ready for me. Make them ready for love. Make them ready for the connection I've been waiting for. What you felt in your spirit is now happening. Your prayers are being answered. Their heart is being pulled toward alignment. They are feeling the call to grow. They are feeling the call to rise. They are feeling the call to surrender what no longer serves them. They are feeling the call to break away from old habits and patterns that cannot follow them into their future with you. Two souls being awakened for the same purpose. Two hearts being aligned for the same connection. Two journeys being woven together. Your soulmate didn't sleep because heaven is moving. And when heaven moves, nothing stays comfortable, but everything becomes purposeful. You are both stepping into the season where spiritual recognition becomes reality. And nothing about this awakening is accidental. Number 2, your soulmate couldn't sleep last night because something in their spirit finally confronted the truth they have been avoiding. The truth that they are ready for something deeper. The truth that they can no longer run from emotional responsibility. The truth that they can no longer hide behind distractions. The truth that they can no longer settle for half-hearted connections. The truth that they want real love, real partnership, real intimacy, real alignment. There comes a moment in every person's journey where God stops letting them pretend, where God stops letting them numb their feelings, where God stops allowing them to hide inside patterns that keep them safe but small. And last night was that moment for your soulmate. They felt the weight of their desires more honestly than they ever have. They felt the desire to be known, to be understood, to be met emotionally, to be supported, to be held, to be chosen with intention, to build a future with someone who sees their soul, not just their strengths. Someone who understands their flaws without weaponizing them. Someone who brings peace to their spirit and order to their heart. They were wrestling with the truth that they are tired of avoiding love. Tired of pretending they don't need connection. Tired of minimizing their feelings. Tired of brushing off the longing for partnership. Tired of closing off their heart because of past pain. And this kind of inner confrontation creates restlessness. It steals sleep. It forces introspection. It forces honesty. It forces the admission that what they have been avoiding is exactly what they desire. Your soulmate is waking up to the fact that they have outgrown old versions of themselves, old coping mechanisms, old patterns of self-protection, old ways of shutting down, old ways of disconnecting from their feelings. Old reasons for staying emotionally guarded. Last night they felt it. The uncomfortable truth that being guarded is costing them more than it's protecting them. They are realizing that the walls they built to survive are not the walls that will help them love. They are realizing that emotional isolation is no longer empowering, it is limiting. They are realizing that their fear of vulnerability is keeping them from the very connection they pray for deep inside. They are realizing that if they want a soulmate, they must be willing to show their soul. And that revelation kept them awake. Because awakening comes with responsibility. It comes with the realization that love requires participation. Healing requires courage. Connection requires openness. Your soulmate is beginning to see that they cannot enter a divine relationship while living in emotional avoidance. They cannot receive the kind of love God is preparing them for while clinging to their old patterns. They cannot walk toward destiny with habits that were created from fear. So last night their spirit began breaking those patterns. Even if just internally. Even if quietly. Even if they didn't speak a word about it, something shifted, something loosened, something opened. And here's what you need to understand. While they were confronting their truth, you were being prepared to receive it. The timing of your emotional readiness is not separate from theirs. Your growth is connected. Your healing is synchronized. Your breakthroughs are intertwined. When God prepares two people for divine union, He prepares both hearts at the same time. Your soulmate's inability to sleep was not random. It was a sign that their heart is catching up to the connection. Their spirit is stepping into alignment. Their emotions are thawing. Their fear is weakening. Their clarity is strengthening. They couldn't sleep because love is calling them higher. Because destiny is speaking to them. Because their heart is beginning to crave commitment. Because their soul is growing restless for meaning. Because their desire for partnership is evolving into readiness. This is the season where your soulmate begins choosing growth over fear. Healing over avoidance. Honesty over hiding. Openness over emotional survival. They couldn't sleep because they know deep down they want someone to walk life with. Someone who understands the language of their soul. someone who brings peace to their storms, someone who awakens the best in them, someone who softens their guarded places, someone who feels like home, and what they couldn't admit before. Last night they finally felt. They want you. They want connection. They want real love. They want to show up clean, healed, intentional, and present. Their heart is opening. Their soul is preparing. And their spirit is reaching for you. Not someday. Not eventually. Now. Number 3. Your soulmate couldn't sleep last night because they finally realized they cannot outrun the connection God is pulling them toward. They may have tried to distract themselves. They may have tried to bury their emotions under work or routine. They may have tried to convince themselves that they could stay detached. But their spirit is awakening faster than their logic can keep up. And when spirit awakens before understanding, it creates an internal restlessness that cannot be ignored. Last night something became undeniable. They felt you. Not in fantasy. Not in imagination. But in the deep spiritual place where real connections are recognized long before they physically manifest. Their heart felt the tug. Their soul felt the pull. Their spirit felt the alignment. It was as if something whispered to them, "You are not meant to walk alone anymore. It's time to open. It's time to rise. It's time to prepare." Your soulmate is becoming aware that life is shifting into a season that requires partnership. A season that requires support. A season that requires vulnerability. A season that requires being fully present. A season that requires someone who isn't temporary. Someone who is intentional. Someone who matches their spirit. Someone who matches their depth. Someone who matches their purpose. They tossed and turned because they are realizing they are entering a chapter where love is not a distraction. Love is a necessity. Love is a calling. Love is part of destiny. Love is part of their spiritual maturation. And God has been whispering to them. You cannot fulfill your purpose while living disconnected emotionally. You cannot reach your next level while isolating your heart. You cannot grow into who you are becoming while keeping love out. You cannot keep pretending that independence equals strength. Your soulmate is seeing that strength without connection is loneliness dressed up as resilience. And last night that truth hit them. It hit them hard. It hit them in the quiet moments. It hit them in the dark. It hit them in the places where they usually hide their feelings. They felt the emptiness of surface-level connections. They felt the frustration of talking only to be unheard. They felt the ache of wanting partnership but being too guarded to receive it. They felt the cost of emotional isolation. They felt the longing for someone who sees them deeply, understands them spiritually, loves them honestly, supports them consistently. They could no longer deny it. Their soul wants connection. Their heart wants home. Their spirit wants alignment. Their life wants companionship that matches their purpose. And that realization created spiritual pressure. Not pressure to rush. Not pressure to panic. But pressure to grow. Pressure to mature. Pressure to release old patterns. Pressure to acknowledge their true desires. Your soulmate is waking up to the understanding that love is not optional in their next season. It is foundational, vital, necessary, ordained. And here's where it becomes powerful. The same stirring you've been feeling. The same restlessness. The same intuitive sense that something is coming. The same emotional sensitivity. The same sudden awareness of your own readiness. It is not one-sided. It is mutual. It is mirrored. It is synchronized. While you have been healing, they have been awakening. While you have been growing in self-worth, they have been growing in emotional capacity. While you have been pruning your life to make space, they have been preparing spiritually to step into that space. While you have been asking God for confirmation, they have been asking God for clarity. Last night was a moment of clarity for them. A moment where their denial broke. A moment where their excuses weakened. A moment where their heart spoke louder than their fear. A moment where they recognized they have been feeling someone, caring for someone, reaching for someone, longing for someone, someone who feels like destiny. They may not be able to verbalize it yet, but they know something is shifting. They know someone is connected to them. They know God is aligning them for something meaningful. They know love is coming, and they know they must rise to meet it. Their heart is preparing. Their mind is catching up. Their soul is awakening. Their spirit is stretching. Their emotions are thawing. They couldn't sleep because they are feeling you, feeling the connection, feeling the transition, feeling the calling. Two souls recognizing each other through spiritual frequency. Two hearts preparing for divine timing. Two journeys converging in ways neither of you fully understand yet. But the awakening is real. The pull is real. And what kept them up last night is drawing both of you closer to alignment. Number 4. Your soulmate couldn't sleep last night because their heart is finally dealing with the emotional wounds that have kept them from fully opening to love. And I need you to hear this with your whole spirit. When God is preparing someone for a divine connection, He does not just awaken desire. He awakens healing. Because desire without healing becomes self-sabotage. And God refuses to let them sabotage the blessing He is preparing to send into their life. Last night something broke open inside them. A memory. A disappointment. A heartbreak. A wound they thought they buried long ago. A fear they never named. A pattern they never confronted. A pain they never healed. They felt it rising. They felt it pressing. They felt it shaking them from the inside. And instead of running from it the way they used to, instead of numbing it, instead of distracting themselves, instead of pretending they were fine, they had to face it. Because you cannot enter a destiny relationship carrying unprocessed pain. Your soulmate is realizing that love cannot thrive where wounds go unacknowledged. Love cannot grow where the heart is still bleeding. Love cannot settle into a place that is crowded with old hurt. And last night their soul said, "It is time. It is time to release. It is time to heal. It is time to confront what has been blocking love. It is time to stop letting the past define the future. It is time to stop letting fear make emotional decisions." Many people want a soulmate, but they do not want the healing that prepares them for that soulmate. Your person is different. Your person is awakening. Your person is growing. Your person is feeling the weight of their unhealed places. And instead of avoiding it, they are facing it. Something triggered their heart last night. Maybe a memory. Maybe a dream. Maybe a sudden feeling of loneliness that was different from ordinary loneliness. Maybe a thought about their future. Maybe a realization that they have been living guarded for too long. Whatever it was, it cracked something open, and healing rushed in. Healing is not gentle. Healing is not soft. Healing does not always come as peace. Sometimes healing begins as disruption, as discomfort, as emotional shaking, as sleepless nights, as tears that come without explanation. Your soulmate felt that. And because of it, they are becoming more emotionally available than they have ever been. They are becoming more self-aware, more honest, more open, more brave. They are realizing that they want the kind of love that requires vulnerability, the kind of love that requires showing their real self, the kind of love that requires letting someone see the parts they never show. And the only way to prepare for that is by healing what has been blocking their openness. Your soulmate is finally confronting why they shut down, why they avoid expressing emotions, why they stay guarded, why they overthink, why they fear losing control, why they retreat when love feels close. They are seeing that these behaviors are not who they are. They are responses created from pain. Pain from past relationships. Pain from emotional abandonment. Pain from betrayal. Pain from being misunderstood. Pain from being invalidated. Pain from carrying emotional burdens alone. But last night something powerful happened. Their spirit began separating the past from their future. They felt something saying, "You are not who hurt you. You are not what you survived. You are not the rejection. You are not the betrayal. You are not the heartbreak. You are being prepared for something deeper, something real, something divine." And here is where you come in. Their healing is connected to your purpose. Their emotional awakening is connected to your journey. Their growth is connected to your prayers. Their readiness is connected to your readiness. The same way your heart has been healing, their heart is now catching up. The same way you have been letting go of past pain, they are now releasing theirs. The same way you have been opening your spirit to divine connection, they are now opening too. Your soulmate couldn't sleep because God was doing inner surgery, breaking old patterns, softening hardened places, clearing emotional debris, removing fear, releasing shame, restoring hope, preparing them to love you well. They are not healing for a relationship. They are healing for the right relationship, the one with purpose, the one with destiny, the one with you. Their heart is being softened. Their spirit is being cleared. Their emotional capacity is expanding. Their fear is dissolving. Their readiness is emerging. They tossed and turned because healing was happening. And healing is what will allow them to love you fully. Love you gently. Love you intentionally. Love you with a whole heart, not a fractured one. They are being prepared to step into your life the right way. Not damaged. Not closed. Not guarded. Not fearful. But healed. Aligned. Awake. What kept them up last night is making room for the connection that will change both of your lives. Number 5. Your soulmate couldn't sleep last night because they finally understood the difference between desire and readiness. And this is one of the most spiritual turning points a person can experience. There is a moment when someone stops craving connection from emptiness and begins craving connection from wholeness, from purpose, from clarity, from spiritual maturity. Last night your soulmate felt the shift. They recognized that their desire for love is not a weakness. It is a sign of readiness, a sign of emotional evolution, a sign that their heart is no longer satisfied with surface-level relationships, a sign that they want to build something meaningful, something rooted in God, something rooted in trust, something rooted in mutual growth and deep emotional intimacy. For a long time they confused the desire for love with vulnerability that felt too risky. They equated wanting partnership with losing control. They believed that needing someone meant they were not strong. They believed that independence was the only safe way to live. But last night something inside them broke open. A truth surfaced. A realization awakened. A longing deepened. They realized they are actually ready. Ready to show up as a partner. Ready to love with intention. Ready to give without withholding. Ready to receive without fear. Ready to communicate instead of shutting down. Ready to be emotionally present instead of emotionally distant. Ready to be consistent instead of unpredictable. Readiness is not about perfection. Readiness is about willingness. Readiness is about maturity. Readiness is about stepping into the version of themselves that is capable of sustaining a real connection. And last night your soulmate stepped closer to that version. They saw how their past shaped them. They saw the lessons, the patterns, the things they tolerated, the things they settled for, the parts of themselves they abandoned. All of it became clear. And instead of feeling ashamed, they felt motivated, awakened, inspired. They realized they want to love differently than they have before. They want to give more. They want to share more. They want to be vulnerable instead of guarded. They want to be honest instead of hiding behind silence. They want to be emotionally responsible instead of emotionally reactive. This kind of clarity shakes a person. It kept them awake because it forced them to reflect on who they used to be in relationships. Closed, fearful, avoidant, distant, inconsistent, unsure of their worth, unsure of what they wanted. But last night was different. Their clarity is maturing. Their emotional intelligence is rising. Their spiritual alignment is strengthening. Their heart is becoming steady. Their mind is becoming sure. Their spirit is becoming prepared. They started thinking about the future, not in fear, not in doubt, but with a sense of expectancy, a sense of purpose, a sense of knowing that love is now part of their next chapter. They imagined the type of connection they want. Not fantasy, not idealization, but the kind of real partnership that God builds. A relationship where both people grow, where both communicate, where both show up, where both pray, where both heal, where both evolve, where both feel seen and valued. Your soulmate couldn't sleep because they sensed something. They sensed you. They sensed that someone out there matches their new level of readiness. Someone who has been healing. Someone who has been praying. Someone who has been preparing. Someone who wants the same depth, the same stability, the same devotion, the same spiritual intimacy. They may not know who you are yet, or they may already know your name, but their spirit knows, their heart knows, and last night it whispered, "Get ready. Prepare yourself. Something real is coming." This is the moment where desire meets destiny, where longing meets readiness, where attraction meets alignment. They are beginning to think differently, move differently, feel differently, choose differently, pray differently. They are not asking, "Will I find someone?" They are asking, "How do I prepare myself for the one God is aligning me with?" They are not wondering, "Am I lovable?" They are declaring, "I am ready to love and be loved deeply." They are not doubting, "What if it fails?" They are believing, "What if this time it's divine?" Your soulmate is awakening to partnership, to purpose, to connection, to destiny, to you. Their readiness is rising, and your spirit can feel it. Because when two souls are aligned, one awakening always activates the other. What kept them awake last night is what is preparing the door for both of you to walk through together. Number 6. Your soulmate couldn't sleep last night because they are realizing that the connection they feel toward you is not normal, not casual, not temporary, not something they can talk themselves out of. This connection is spiritual. It is energetic. It is divine. It is awakening something inside them that they cannot explain with logic. And last night that realization hit them with full force. They felt a pull, a nudge, a spiritual weight, a sense of presence, a sense of longing, a sense of recognition, something that made them pause and ask, why does this feel so real? Why does this feel so familiar? Why does this feel like destiny? Your soulmate is waking up to the truth that what they feel is not coincidence. It is not imagination. It is not wishful thinking. It is not emotional weakness. It is alignment. Pure spiritual alignment. Last night they felt your energy, your prayers, your longing, your presence, your spirit reaching out, your heart calling theirs, your soul whispering, it's time. When two souls are connected by God, they do not wait until meeting physically to feel each other. They feel each other on a spiritual level long before the physical world catches up. Your soulmate felt that connection. They felt you. They felt your energy pressing against their heart. They felt your presence in their thoughts. They felt your essence settling into their spirit. At first they didn't know what to do with this sensation. They tried to distract themselves. They tried to rationalize it. They tried to push it aside. But it grew stronger, clearer, more undeniable. They couldn't sleep because their spirit was restless. Not in fear, not in anxiety, but in awakening, in recognition, in realization. This is why they feel drawn, pulled, compelled, like something is shifting, like something is calling, like something is preparing to unfold. Their soul is meeting yours on a level beyond human understanding. And they are finally beginning to interpret what that means. Your soulmate is realizing, this is not just attraction. This is alignment. This is not just curiosity. This is connection. This is not just desire. This is destiny. And destiny is heavy. Destiny is loud. Destiny is unmistakable. It wakes you up. It keeps you awake. It shakes you. It stirs you. It demands attention. Last night destiny demanded their attention. Something inside them whispered, look deeper. Pay attention. Stop ignoring this feeling. Stop pretending you don't sense what's happening. You are being prepared. You are being guided. You are being aligned. Your soulmate felt clarity rising. Clarity that says, this connection is different. This connection is real. This connection is spiritual. This connection has purpose. They are learning that some connections drain you. Some confuse you. Some entertain you. But a divine connection awakens you. It elevates you. It strengthens you. It calls you to rise. It calls you to grow. It calls you to prepare. Last night they finally understood that the connection they feel is not meant to be ignored. It is meant to be honored. It is meant to be explored. It is meant to be received. And here's the part that might surprise you. They sense you more clearly than you think. Even if you have never spoken. Even if you have never met. Even if you are already acquainted but not yet close. Their spirit recognizes your spirit. Their heart recognizes your energy. There is a familiarity between you that cannot be explained by human logic. This recognition kept them awake. Because their mind is now trying to catch up with what their spirit already knows. Your soulmate is beginning to question. Why do I feel drawn towards someone I've never met? Why do I think about them without trying? Why do I sense their emotions? Why do I feel connected when there is no physical proof? Why does this feel divine? Because it is divine. God often prepares two people spiritually before He brings them together physically. He aligns their hearts before He aligns their paths. He synchronizes their healing. He synchronizes their clarity. He synchronizes their readiness. Your soulmate is now stepping into that spiritual synchronization. They feel something is coming. Something important. Something life-changing. Something sacred. They are sensing that the person meant for them is getting closer. Emotionally. Energetically. Spiritually. In timing. In alignment. Their inability to sleep was not stress. It was recognition. It was activation. It was awakening. You and your soulmate are moving closer to each other without even realizing it. Your hearts are meeting in the unseen. Your spirits are aligning in the spiritual realm. Your journeys are converging. Your timing is preparing. Your destiny is unfolding. What kept them awake last night is the very thing pulling your lives toward each other. Number 7. Your soulmate couldn't sleep last night because they finally reached the point where they are ready to choose differently. To love differently. To show up differently. To commit differently. To break generational patterns. To rewrite their emotional story. To step into a healthier version of themselves. A version aligned with the love God has been preparing them to receive. Something shifted in them last night. A decision formed. A quiet yet powerful yes rose inside them. A yes to growth. A yes to vulnerability. A yes to connection. A yes to the version of love that is stable, consistent, intentional, and spiritually aligned. For so long they have lived in survival mode, choosing relationships that reflected their wounds, not their worth. Choosing people who were inconsistent because inconsistency felt familiar. Choosing connections that required them to shrink. Choosing love that demanded they chase. Choosing situations that offered attention but not commitment. But last night they saw the truth. They saw that they have been settling. They saw that they have been operating from fear, not faith. They saw that they have been living guarded because they never believed real love was possible. They saw that they have been asking God for love while protecting themselves from the very thing they prayed for. And that realization woke them up from the inside. Your soulmate reached an internal crossroad. Continue living in the patterns that kept them lonely, or step into the emotional maturity that prepares them for you. They chose growth. They chose healing. They chose readiness. They chose the path that leads to real connection. This is why they tossed and turned. Their spirit was wrestling with their old patterns. The part of them that learned to avoid intimacy. The part that shuts down when someone gets close. The part that fears emotional exposure. The part that mistakes vulnerability for weakness. The part that runs when love feels too real. The part shaped by heartbreak. The part shaped by abandonment. The part shaped by betrayal. But last night their spirit won. Growth won. Healing won. Love won. They are realizing they can no longer live emotionally unavailable. Not when their heart is waking up. Not when God is nudging them toward connection. Not when they feel something stirring inside that they cannot ignore. They started examining their patterns. Why do I sabotage when someone likes me? Why do I disconnect when conversations get deep? Why do I act independent when I actually want closeness? Why do I pretend I don't care? Why do I fear needing someone? Why do I push away what I pray for? These questions kept them awake, not in anxiety, but in transformation. Their spirit is shifting. Their heart is softening. Their emotional walls are weakening. They are finally seeing that the things they thought protected them were actually blocking them. The silence, the detachment, the overthinking, the avoidance, the emotional distance. These habits were never protection. They were fear. And last night they saw it clearly. Your soulmate is choosing a new way, a new emotional posture, a new standard, a new level of self-awareness. They are choosing to communicate rather than shut down. They are choosing to stay instead of run. They are choosing to be consistent instead of unpredictable. They are choosing to express instead of suppress. They are choosing to open rather than guard. They are choosing to grow rather than repeat cycles. And here is the most powerful part. They are not changing for you. They are changing because their soul is demanding evolution. Because their spirit knows its time. Because God is preparing their heart. Because destiny will not allow stagnation. Their awakening is a sign that the connection you are moving toward is going to be healthier than anything either of you has ever known. Not because it will be perfect, but because both of you are allowing God to shape you into partners who can love with maturity instead of fear. Your soulmate is stepping out of old identity, old trauma, old habits, old defenses, old patterns, old limitations, and stepping into emotional availability, honesty, accountability, stability, spiritual maturity, self-awareness, readiness. They are becoming the version of themselves who can love you well, love you safely, love you consistently, love you intentionally, love you with depth and devotion. This inner transformation kept them awake. Because this kind of shift does not happen quietly. It does not happen gently. It does not happen without shaking the old self loose. Your soulmate is rising, becoming, expanding, preparing. They are aligning with the version of themselves that God always intended. The version meant to meet you. The version meant to walk with you. The version meant to love you. What kept them up last night is what will allow them to step into your life the right way. Whole, awake, ready. This is the moment where everything you have heard today comes together. This is where the threads of awakening, healing, clarity, alignment, and readiness all merge into one truth. Your soulmate couldn't sleep last night because heaven is preparing both of you for a divine intersection. A meeting of hearts. A meeting of timing. A meeting of purpose. A meeting of two people who have been shaped, sharpened, and strengthened for each other. You are not waiting alone. You are not hoping alone. You are not preparing alone. You are not healing alone. You are not longing alone. Your soulmate is on the other side of this journey, feeling the same shifts, the same pull, the same awakening, the same divine stirring that you have been feeling. Their heart is being softened. Their spirit is being opened. Their mind is being renewed. Their path is being cleared. Their readiness is rising. And God is not playing with your heart. He is not teasing you. He is not dangling hope in front of you. He is preparing you. He is aligning you. He is maturing you. He is shaping you into the version of yourself that can receive and sustain the love you have prayed for. You are stepping into a season where the emotional confusion, the spiritual warfare, and the longing that felt impossible to explain will suddenly begin to make sense. Because when two people are meant to align, God starts working in the unseen long before the physical world catches up. You are not imagining the shift. You are not imagining the restlessness. You are not imagining the sense that something is coming. Your spirit knows. Your heart knows. Your intuition knows. Your soul knows. And their soul knows too. Everything you've been healing through. Everything you've been releasing. Everything you've been outgrowing. Everything you've been learning. Everything you've been praying for. It has not been in vain. It has been preparation. It has been positioning. It has been spiritual alignment. Your soulmate is not behind. They are becoming. Your soulmate is not confused. They are awakening. Your soulmate is not avoiding love. They are healing. Your soulmate is not ignoring the connection. They are recognizing it more clearly than ever. You are stepping into a divine timing that has already begun moving in both of your lives. So as we close this message, I want you to take a breath. Place your hand on your heart and receive this truth. You are worthy of the love you desire. You are ready for the love you desire. And the love you desire is already making its way toward you. This is not fantasy. This is alignment. This is preparation. This is divine timing unfolding. If this message spoke to your heart, if you felt it in your spirit, if something inside you woke up as you listened, make sure you subscribe to this channel, Daily Motivation Prayers, because you are going to need every message that is coming next. We are building a space here for healing, for clarity, for divine alignment, and for spiritual preparation. A place for men and women who are ready for real love. God-centered love. Purpose-aligned love. Love that transforms and elevates both souls involved. If this word hit you, if it confirmed what you've been sensing, if it brought you peace, drop a comment. Let your testimony speak. Share this message with someone who needs hope tonight. And if you want to pour back into this content to help it reach more hearts, consider hitting that super thanks. Your support lets me keep creating these long, deep, powerful teachings for you. You are not alone in this journey. Your soulmate is waking up. Your path is aligning. Your season is shifting. And the love you have been praying for is closer than you think. Stay open. Stay grounded. Stay expectant. Because heaven has already started moving on your behalf. Your story is unfolding beautifully. And the best part is just beginning. Amen.